Okay, we're going to talk about humanity and courage. I'm going to talk about humanity and courage in a new age of talent acquisition. Now, I chose this picture for a reason, and I'm just curious if anybody here knows who this picture is of. There's a hint. I wrote it on the screen. Anyway, this is John Merrick from the Elephant Man. The line that continues to strike me from that movie is him saying, "I am not an animal. I am a human being." Please let's remember that going forward. Here's the challenge. The challenge is, what defines how great we can be? Aristotle wrote, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellent then is not an act, but it's a habit. Everyone here ever hear the trolley problem? Just one show of hands or one heart if you've heard of the trolley problem. Well, the trolley problem is simple. This is an ethical conundrum that came up a couple of years back. And here we have a trolley approaching a junction in which a human being can switch the track so the trolley can run over either one person or run over either five people. I think where we've gone the last couple of years in TA is it almost feels that those of us in talent acquisition are left with this ethical dilemma every day. Do we kill one person or do we kill five people? I think there's a way around that. In fact, I know there's a way around this. There's a solution to the trolley problem, and we'll get to that in a moment. Uh, if you want to see how bad this was before brakes were invented, Jeremy, that's when these trolleys were horse-drawn. Uh, One of my favorite sites for seeing about the opportunities for us to improve in recruiting is I go to the recruiting health subreddit, and if you aren't there, please go there. Let me read a few of these to you. Here's one here: Dream company, not so dreamy interview process and results. Down here, why I hate recruiters on LinkedIn. Here's another one: Workday sucks. Delusional recruiter blaming the candidates. Ghosted by an internal recruiter. Haven't heard back about final interview, but hiring managers just posting on LinkedIn that they're hiring for the position. And then this one that a good friend of ours, who most of you know, wrote on Facebook not too long ago. Please, for the love of humanity, if you're not hiring, don't start the interview process. Don't waste your candidates' time and money, please. An old friend of mine, a long time ago, she said she was a kindergarten teacher. She told was quick to tell the kids who said, "I don't like this, I don't like that." She'll say, "Well, you have to fix the problem." So I'm going to talk about a framework, an ideology, a state of mind that I think will allow us to fix the problem. And it goes back to two things: courage. Several years ago, I did a keynote, called it "The Courageous Sorcerer," and in it, I laid a foundation for understanding, what is courage and how does it apply to what we do in talent acquisition. A little bit of the etymology: courage comes from the 1300s. Courage, heart, is in the seat of emotions, heart, innermost feelings. Later meaning valor, quality of mind, which enables one to meet danger and trouble without fear, came a little bit later. But then there's that word fear. Fear really does keep us from doing many, many things. And if you look at some of the etymology of the word fear, it means calamity, sudden danger, peril, sudden attack, a harm, distress, deception, ambush, state of being afraid, uneasiness caused by possible danger. It really often feels as if this is what recruiting has been like for the last few years, this underlying sense of danger and fear. We're not going to speak out because we fear being laid off. We're not going to question some of the bad habits of other recruiters on our team because we may be called out ourselves. But part of this new framework really involves each of us being more courageous than we've ever been before. This is a guy, his name is Gary Box. Gary was a firefighter, 9/11, worked in the same house as my best friend, Dave Fontana. And this is the last known picture of him being alive. He ran the tunnel. If you know the tunnel to tower race, it's because of the New York City firefighters that ran really a couple of miles with well over 100 pounds of gear, only to see really Armageddon in their eyes. And if you ever get to the World Trade Center, Gary, along with the other firefighters on Squad 1, a few other my friends, are there in the World Trade Center South Pool Panel S9. He knew, they knew what was there, what they were facing, but they realized that their fears were something that couldn't keep them from doing things. So here we are, finally, 2024. Why have those in talent acquisition been so fearful of speaking up and speaking out about bad behaviors, bad strategies, bad processes, bad systems, and metrics? Well, part of the problem is it's not that you aren't courageous. It's just that something is holding you back. One of my favorite quotes. It's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart. Why do those things come out in whispers and not roars like lions? I don't know. I don't know. So let me get to the meat of this here. A guy named Dusty Staub wrote a book in the late 90s called The Heart of Leadership. And I've hyperlinked for those when you get this. There's a video of him talking about it. And that's his LinkedIn profile in case you want to connect with him on the Blue Devil. So the 7 acts of courage, and I'm going to talk to you how they relate to talent acquisition. The courage to dream and express it. The courage to see the current reality. The courage to confront. The courage to be confronted. The courage to learn and grow. The courage to be vulnerable. And the courage to act. Og Mandino, our friend Brian Fink used an Og Mandino quote not too long ago. He's very quotable when it comes to leadership. The book that he wrote, The Greatest Salesman of the World, is hyperlinked there. Actually, the PDF of all the stuff, you don't feel like buying it. Og wrote, I am not here by chance. I am here for a purpose, and that purpose is to grow into a mountain, not to shrink to a grain of sand. Henceforth will I apply all my efforts to become the highest mountain of all, and I will strain my potential into cries for mercy. Talent acquisition needs your courage, and it needs your effort, and it needs your innovation for us to continue to do what we do in a manner that we believe benefits all organizations and all people. So let's talk about the courage to dream and express it. This is when you have a vision, big goals, and you put it out there for all to see. So I contend that to how it applies to talent acquisition, it's make the claim as a TA leader, as a practitioner. It doesn't matter what area you're in. Human touch points for everyone. Goodbye, no reply. I hate those no reply emails from all the ATSs. And at the bottom that says, oh, before they say, no reply, but please join our talent community. At the bottom it says, no one is monitoring this email. Nothing speaks human more than that, does it? Make it a commitment. Feedback for everyone. I don't know about you. I've given feedback for decades and I've never been sued. I don't know anybody who has. I want our TA teams to be recognized as one of the most human-centric, honest teams in the world. When I spoke about this at a conference, my goodness, 7.5 years ago, I asked the audience what you were afraid of, and I said, look, I go first. I said, what I'm afraid of as a recruiter in talent acquisition is sourcing somebody, engaging them, interviewing them, hiring them, onboarding them, relocating them. That's when we relocated people, only for 6 months down the line, have them say, Steve, you lied to me about this place. I will never do that. You will get 100% honesty from me and my team. Bank it. I want to speak. I want to write. If that's something that you want to do, ask everybody here, all the people who've spoken today, how they do it, how they did it. We will help you. Second, the courage to see current reality. thinking we've always done it this way is setting yourself up for being average. See your strengths and weaknesses. Understand the state of your business, your career, your family, your life. Take off your blinders. There have been blinders, and others people poke about blinders. The reality of it is, yes, LinkedIn and Workday are bullies. But what can we do about it? I leave it up to you. Ghosting hurts your company's brand and trustworthiness. If you get a chance, Google Edelman Trust Barometer 2024. I'll put it in the chat during the Q&A. Edelman, big agency that put an annual trust report out. Read it. Trustworthiness is next to godliness and honesty in my book. And the third thing is, if you don't learn how to use AI as tools, you will likely be replaced by them. They won't take your job, but know how to use them. We'll help. There are courses out there. I'll sit one-on-one with anybody here and show you how I do them. The courage to confront, telling truth to power, willing to confront up, to speak up with respect, seize the moment to offer coaching insights, ideas, and suggestions. Good thing, speak up publicly against galactically wrong job search or TA advice. We all know the shit that makes us cringe. Don't let people buy into it if you know it's wrong. Fight opinions about workforce planning and TA strategy with data. When someone says, the last, 24 months, the carnage in TA, I haven't heard many people, many TA leaders go back up to the folks who signed the RIF papers and said, no, 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 no. There are other things that this company needs that the TA team can provide for them better. I said that better than some of the people who are doing it now. No, you won't know it when you see it. Invariably, when I give a presentation at a conference, I ask the audience in the first 2 or 3 slides, show of hands, in the last 30 days, my apology, in the last 30 days, how many people here have wanted to kill a hiring manager? It's real. But the hiring manager says, just send me all the resumes, I'll know it when I see it. Don't just take the order. No, you won't know it when you see it. If you can't describe it for me now, how will you know when you see it? And finally, culture fit, likability, and get along ability are nothing but biases. Don't let them happen. Show why. The courage to be confronted, to listen non-defensively to criticism, learning from critiques, listening to learn, seeking out the bad news, asking for contrary viewpoints, rewarding people for speaking up. Continuously ask how you can be better. When people say, I gave it 100%, 100% isn't a destination. It's simply a step up to the next level of 100%. You're never going to be the best sourcer, the best recruiter. No one here stops learning. No one. There's a reason why I read, true story, 43 newsletters every morning. I like learning new things. Challenge people to confront you as a TA leader, or if you're or as a hiring manager. You can say, prove me wrong. Show me how I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm going to learn from it. Respond publicly to influencers in a generous manner. Strive to understand before you're understood. That's a Coveyism if you have forgotten about that one. There are posts out there on the Blue Devil and other places from experts who claim to do this or that. Or you may write a post that says, hey, the open to work banner, it's actually a sign of courage, and people attack you. Understand where they're coming from. Don't get mad. Get compassionate. The courage to learn and grow, stepping into the unknown, tolerating ambiguity and uncertainty, taking calculated risks, giving up an addiction to being right. We've all said it. Cure your LinkedIn addiction. I said LinkedIn is the OxyContin of recruiting. We can find a way. There are other people. Not everybody you seek, not everybody you covet has a LinkedIn profile. And those who do, surprise, sometimes don't write great profiles or great resumes. What happens when you read a book and you come across a word you don't understand? Do you hum over it, or do you pick up a dictionary and look at and define and understand what the meaning is? Give up your leadership seat for 1 week. Flip seats with somebody in your group. Get to know how they feel in their chair. If you really want to understand budgets, don't fake it. Take a CFO for Dummies course so you can understand budgets and what G&A means and how compa ratios work and how compensation banding is created. That's on you. Always learn, always grow. The courage to be vulnerable. That's what today was about. Asking for help and let others know they're needed. That tough customer who, hiring manager, invite them for coffee. Ask them what it is that makes it so difficult to work with TA and what they would change. Talk with your team about your review with your boss. Ask them if the review is accurate and what they could do to improve. Above all, share your story. Be like Nick. Be like Mike. Be like everyone else who spoke today. And finally, the courage to act. Put yourself in harm's way, stepping up when needed. Be willing to commit and follow through. For example, use your dropout and drop off rates and process reviews, like Glassdoor, Recruiting Hell, to make a case for new 2A systems and re-engineered workflows. You don't have to be beaten by bad systems just because someone who doesn't know how to use them selected them for you. Tell an aggrieved applicant that you'd like to meet and hear about their job search, and then help them. Stick to the terms in your service level agreement. If it means a manager being pushed down to the bottom of the queue, stick to it. Above all, repeat the mantra. One bad candidate experience will lose my company at least one current or potential future customer every time you fail to give a person actionable feedback or cause. So ultimately, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. And in TA, it's company growth, it's human growth, it's personal growth. And whatever you do, we know goes into our family life, and it's family growth. Bottom line is humanity is scalable, and technology will allow us to get there. But you have to use it and you have to find ways. It may mean re-engineering workflows the way we know it. It may mean coming up with new metrics that haven't been created yet. But it is all scalable. And I've done it with thousands of people on Rex and given people actionable, human, accurate feedback. And I've also gotten back emails from them saying, thank you, no one else does it. So in the end, this is our buddy, the late Derek Zeller, who would have completely been tickled about being part of this. And he was the one who most loudly said, they're people, not candidates. Do not forget that. They're people, not candidates. And it's up to you to make them feel that way.